Class. Today we are going to understand how to connect the circuit, how to take readings, and in the last lectures I have already explained you the least count of ammeter and voltmeter, that how to decide least count of ammeter and voltmeter. So okay children, we are going to first connect the circuit. I already explained that this is battery eliminator which bypasses the use of battery, and the positive terminal is the red knob and the negative terminal is the black one, and the knob is set at 2 volt. But in this eliminator, actually for 2 volts the voltage provided is 3.5 volt, so I have corrected it here that the knob is set at 3.5 volt, right? Let me show you that the knob is set at 3.5 volt. This one. All right. This is ammeter. We will discuss how to take reading. This is connected with the resistor in series. I'll show you what does it mean by connecting in series. About this standard resistance, I told you that mostly it is made of constantan or magnin because they have few properties which is required for the standard resistance. This is voltmeter. It is connected with the resistance in parallel. This is resistance box. I explained the whole working and structure of this resistance box in earlier video lectures, and this provides variable resistance to the circuit. Now let me see how to connect this circuit. Beta, I am showing you here all class 12 students. I expect that you observe the connections properly, so that whenever you are fortunate enough to come to lab, you are able to connect the circuit without any problem. So let me focus the camera, and I am showing you how to connect the circuit. Before that, we always have a circuit diagram. So let me show you the circuit diagram and the experiment what we are going to do, and how to write the experiment in your practical exam copy, right? So see beta, for the time being the object is to verify Ohm's law. Ohm's law, let me revise it, although you know it very well, that if length, thickness, material and temperature of resistance or conductor does not change, which quantities? Length of the conductor, thickness of the conductor, material of the conductor and temperature of the conductor does not change, the potential difference across the conductor is proportional to current through the conductor. Do you remember it, beta? And in class 10th you have already gone through this concept. So what happens that when voltage is proportional to current, see, voltage is proportional to current, then if you change this proportionality sign and make it equal, then to balance both the sides, we have to introduce a constant here. This constant is actually nothing but the resistance offered by the conductor. So Ohm's law is that potential difference across the conductor upon current through the conductor, this ratio is a constant known as resistance. So if we want to prove that the Ohm's law is true, then we have to prove that voltage upon current through the conductor is a constant. So that is what we are going to do. Now let me see the circuit diagram which we are going to connect. Can you see the circuit diagram here? This is the battery eliminator, the red knob positive terminal, the black knob negative terminal. We are having inbuilt key switch in the battery eliminator, so we don't have to connect it separately. Then we have ammeter. Ammeter measures current through the circuit. Now very important thing, children, because these mistakes are done by number of students. In ammeter also we have the knob similar as the battery eliminator, and this knob is positive red knob and negative terminal, that is black knob. Positive knob of eliminator will always ammeter will always be connected to the positive knob of the ammeter. This is the thing which you have to take care. Then see, ammeter is connected with the resistance box in series. Resistance box, through resistance box we will change the resistance of the circuit. Then it is connected with the resistance of the circuit in series, and then this resistance, the other screw of the resistance is connected with the battery eliminator's negative terminal. So actually these components are connected in series. Only one component is connected in parallel with the resistance, and that is voltmeter. In voltmeter also we have red and black knobs. The red is positive terminal which is connected with the positive of the battery eliminator. See, through these resistance box, ammeter, finally the positive terminal of voltmeter is connected with the positive terminal of the cell, and negative is connected with the negative terminal of the cell. So this is the circuit we are going to establish. So let me first observe how we have to connect the circuit. I expect all of you beta to see it with concentration and silently, and note down all the points which I am explaining you. I have written whatever I have explained you, so you can note down the points so that these points are with you. Although this class will remain with you and you can access it anytime, especially before coming to the lab. Right? So shall we start? This is connecting wire beta. Know all the basics of the circuit. This connecting wire is made of copper. This connecting wire is made of copper because copper is a good conductor, right? Now see how I am connecting it with the, I start with the positive terminal of the battery eliminator. Let me switch on one more light so that it is better visible to you. Then with the positive terminal, see, I am going to connect it with the positive terminal of the ammeter. can you see that I am connecting the positive terminal of the battery eliminator with the positive terminal of the emitter. Loose the screw. Take out the copper wire from the thread because the connection should be between metal and the metal, and then just roll it like this. Clear? Now see, in series connection, one knob with the one knob of emitter, then the other knob of the emitter. According to our circuit diagram, I am going to connect with the resistance box. Let me show you the circuit diagram once again. The emitter I am going to connect with the circuit with the resistance box, the variable resistance box, and the other screw of resistance box I will connect with the resistance. So let me start. Just observe the way you have to connect, because if connection is not proper, then you will not be able to find your results. Alright, can you see that I have connected the second terminal, the negative terminal of the emitter, with the resistance box, one screw. See, loose the screw and then connect it, and then tight the screw. Also very important, tight all the knobs of resistance box, because I already explained in the previous lecture that if any knob is loose, there will be an air gap. An unwanted resistance in parallel to this air gap will get introduced in the circuit, and you will not be aware of that presence of that resistance, right? So let me make it a neat and clean circuit, and I push this back so that I am having a space here. And now here comes the turn of resistance. This resistance, which is hero of this experiment, right? So the copper wire is connected first with the resistance box. Actually, physics is all around you, and more of the physics is done through the experiment. More you will be able to learn. Have you seen how I connected the resistance box with the resistance? Now this screw will go back to the negative terminal of the eliminator, and thus we have completed the circle. All are connected in series. I hope you are getting it clear what does it mean by connection of the components in series. See how I am connecting the resistance in series with the eliminator. Now I have already explained that eliminator is having inside it a transformer which will bring the voltage 220 volt of the AC mains we are having in our mains to almost 20 to 18 volts. Then we are having series of arrangements to smooth, first convert AC into DC and then smoothen the fluctuating DC into a single directed, smooth, constant value DC, direct current. So this is the series arrangement of the circuit. I hope that you are able to see all the components. Now the the resistance will be connected in parallel to the voltmeter. So let me first make some place here and this is the voltmeter. You can see that voltmeter is also having positive and negative terminal. So now just check it out how we are supposed to connect the voltmeter in parallel. The one screw will be connected with one screw of resistance and the other with the other screw. But what we have to take care, that positive terminal of the screw must be connected with the positive side of the positive terminal of this battery eliminator. So let me see. This battery eliminator's positive terminal through this emitter, through this resistance box and through this resistance. This is the screw where positive terminal of the emitter should be connected. Have you seen this? The positive terminal, this is the red screw. The positive terminal is coming from the wire from positive terminal is coming through the emitter, through the resistance box to the resistance, this screw. So the positive terminal of voltmeter must be connected with this end of the resistance. So let me connect it that way. Now check out the parallel connection. Loose the screw and connect the wire with the positive terminal of the screw, positive terminal of the voltmeter, and then with that screw which is connected through these components to the positive terminal of the eliminator. So actually this point of the resistance is connected and I am just checking that connection is tight. This point is connected with the voltmeter also and with the resistance box also. Try to arrange the components according to the circuit diagram and then a neat circuit, so that when your external examiner comes to your table, he is able to find that everything is right, and all these points are very, very important to get the full marks in practical. Now the second screw of the resistance is connected with the negative terminal of the voltmeter. See, the negative terminal of the eliminator is connected with this screw, and that connection I am going to extend to the negative terminal of the voltmeter. Just take care that this cover, either it is plastic cover or it is the thread, it should not come between the two metals, otherwise your connection will not be there and your circuit will be broken at that point. So now, are you able to observe the whole connection, the two? Let me show you. The two ends of the resistance are connected with the two ends of the voltmeter. This is parallel connection. And rest all are connected in a circle in series. So now my circuit is ready. Now here I want to give you very important concept, that if you break the circuit anywhere, and then you connect the voltmeter between the two broken ends. Let me tell you my point. If you break the circuit, see, this is the circuit I have already connected, right? Now I am removing this resistance. So my A and B end will be broken. Why? Understand it? The current is flowing through the circuit, but see, I have not shown the current in the voltmeter because voltmeter has very high resistance. Actually, the ideal voltmeter has infinite resistance, and we are not supposed to show the current through the voltmeter. So if I disconnect this resistance, the A and B are the broken end of the circuit, and there will be no current through the circuit. No current through the circuit. Now this is very important conceptual question which is being asked in many exams, in NEET, mains, in boards also. This is basic of the circuit. And what is that? That is that if you connect a voltmeter at the two ends of the broken circuit, then what will be reading of the voltmeter? Now here most of the students say that the reading of the voltmeter will be 0, but that is wrong answer. Understand it, beta. There is no current through the circuit, right? So if current flows, then due to resistance the energy, electrical energy is lost, which we technically say that potential is dropped across the resistance, the obstruction suffered by the circuit. So if current is not flowing at all in the circuit, then there is no potential drop or energy loss in the circuit. So this end, whatever potential of this end is, the same will be potential of A, because in this path there is no potential loss, potential drop. Similarly, if this end is connected with this end and there is no current, no potential drop, then whatever is potential at this point, the same will be potential at B. Now an interesting thing I want to tell you, that this end, negative terminal, during the calculation I'll explain you more, that when we solve the numericals of circuit, we assign the negative terminal 0 volt. Mathematically we assign negative terminal 0 volt, right? So what happens if potential difference between these two terminals, listen to me carefully, if potential difference between the two terminals of the battery, when no current is flowing in the circuit, and the potential difference in that case is known as EMF. So if potential difference between these two terminals is 3.5 volt and this is 0 volt, difference is 3.5 and this is 0, then what is the potential of this point? 3.5. Then only the difference of 3.5 minus 0 will be 3.5. Here one more important concept I am giving you, that when battery is not supplying current through the circuit, then whatever is the potential difference across the two terminals, the same is known as EMF of the cell. And if we connect a voltmeter between these two terminals, then the voltmeter will read 3.5. Now since there is no potential drop, so whatever is potential here, the same will be potential here, that is 0 volt, and whatever is potential at this point, the same will be potential at this point, that is 3.5 volt. So what will be potential difference between A and B? Can you tell me? 3.5 volt obviously. So the voltmeter should read 3.5 volt. Are you getting this point, bacha? Now let me show you that this is exactly what is going to happen. So many times children don't get convinced. They say, ma'am, it should be 0 volt. So that is why I am showing you, I am verifying that if the two broken ends are connected with the voltmeter, then voltmeter will read EMF of the cell. So here I am going to disconnect the resistance from the circuit. I am going to disconnect the resistance from the circuit. And After disconnecting the circuit beta, I'll join the voltmeter's two end with the A end and B end of the circuit. See, I have removed the resistance. And now let me show you the A and B point. See, this circuit is broken. This is point A and this is point B. This end is coming from the positive terminal of the battery and this end is coming from the negative terminal of the battery. Can you see it? So this end will go in the negative terminal of the voltmeter. See, this end will go in the negative terminal of the battery here, and this end which is coming from positive terminal, this will go to the positive terminal, not battery beta, voltmeter, sorry, positive terminal of the voltmeter. And now I'll switch on. I have already connected the illuminator with the mains, right? This is already connected. You can see that indicator is glowing. So now look at the voltmeter reading. See, this is, I'm showing you. Can you see 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5 volt, 2, 2.5 volt and 3 volt. Can you see it? And see, since scale is not there, but you can find this is the 0.5 distance. 0.5 volt distance is represented by this much length of the scale, and here it is. So the pointer is reading 3.5, which is the EMF of the cell. So now I don't think that anybody will have this confusion that if you connect the voltmeter with the two broken end of the circuit where the no current is flowing through the circuit because of the circuit is broken, then your voltmeter will read EMF of the cell. Your voltmeter will read EMF of the cell. Is it clear, beta? So now in this lecture we completed a good concept, important concept, and I have shown you how to connect the circuit. In the next video lecture, I'll show you how to take reading to verify the Ohm's law. So get ready for the next video lecture.